With us today is Michiel Hoogeveen from the ECR. Welcome, good to have you here. You've been speaking out on the ECB a lot lately, and you also mentioned that they should start focusing again on their main task, which is price stability. Could you please elaborate on that?
Well, the original mandate, of the official mandate of the European Central Bank is to maintain price stability. So for example, the European Central Bank has the power to put on the printing press of money. And if they do that, it creates inflation. And it's their job to keep inflation at a certain level in order to keep the price stability or the prices low and affordable for the people. So that's what they should focus on. But they have all kinds of these secondary objectives that they have put on themselves. They should not focus on that, just on price stability.
Yeah, because you also said that the ECB has become more of a political institute, and because they're trying to push more and more on certain policies, mainly green policies. Are they even allowed to do that?
Well, the European Central Bank over the last decades has been trying to act like God. So they, instead of only focusing on price stability, they have also been focusing on saving the euro, highly indebted countries, but also on saving the climate. So to promote green investment instead of brown investments, even though some of these green investments might not even be profitable.
Why do you think the ECB is actually pushing for these policies?
Well, they have a certain political agenda within their own board of directors. So we have, for example, Frank Elderson, a Dutchman who is now part of the board of directors, and he is very much focused on the green policies. He even said during his internal meetings, I don't want people who do not adhere to our agenda of climate change. I don't want these people working at the European Central Bank. So there's an underlying political motivation at the European Central Bank. The same goes for the Eurozone. The Eurozone is a collection of countries that decided to have a common currency. But that's not the job of the European Central Bank to maintain this monetary union. They are there to maintain price stability, not to keep high indebted countries afloat.
Given the concerns raised about the ECB's financial policy, particularly regarding negative interest rates and the impact on savers, what specific measures do you believe the ECB should take to address these issues to still fulfilling its mandate to stabilize prices?
Well, during the last decades, we have been skiing on artificial snow. So we have had low interest rates. The European Central Bank has been buying up debt of highly indebted countries in order to keep the economy going and to keep people spending and borrowing. At the same time, savers, so for example, if you save some money on your bank, you've had low or even negative interest rates, which really hurts the common man. So we believe that the European Central Bank should keep the inflation or keep interest rates at a certain level, that saving is still very much attractive and it keeps the economy going.
Because you mentioned in an op-ed that it's mostly the lower and the middle classes that is being affected with the ECB policies. Could you please elaborate on that?
Well, if you look at the policies of the European Central Bank, the top 1% has been the one who has actually been profiting from these low interest rates. So low interest rates means higher housing prices, for example, which benefited large corporations, not necessarily the people. So in order to keep a balance in the economy, we need a more strict and more frugal policy.
And then the last one, which is actually more of a rhetorical question, should European elections also serve as a referendum for the ECB?
I think it's very important that people understand what the ECB has done to our economy and what the consequences have been. So indeed, inflation, high prices in the supermarket, higher housing prices. So that's really what this policies really created. And I think people should understand, and they should go when they go out and vote, that there are political parties that are highly critical of these policies, and we want to reverse the European Central Bank's policies and go back to its core mandate, and that is price stability.
Thank you so much for being with us here today, Michiel Hoogeveen from the ECR.
Pleasure.